Next in line is Varunaga Lakshmanan from the Millennium School, Dubai. She immerses herself in the world of literature, combining her love for reading and writing to explore different genres and create captivating stories of her own. With an articulate demeanor, she thrives in public speaking, engaging audiences with her eloquence and persuasive skills. As a person who was often told to be different and extraordinary, parts of her always wondered what it would be like just to be ordinary. In her speech today, she hopes to explore the significance of the parts of life that we often take for granted.
Parents the first draft of this speech, their reaction wasn't that great. It looked like they were tiptoeing somewhere between, it'll do, to dear God, I hope that's not what she's going with. What actually came out of their mouth was a hesitant, it's okay. Of course, the moment they saw my face convulse into something of sheer confusion and disappointment, they quickly tried to save themselves with words of encouragement that we both know they didn't mean. Their reaction changed everything about how I looked at my speech. I had written an okay speech. Not bad, not great, just okay. I honestly think that that bothered me a lot more than if they'd torn up my speech and told me never to utter a single word from it again, because at least then I'd know where I went wrong. An okay speech, an ordinary speech, wouldn't do. And so I sat myself down and continued to write. And write. Again, and again, and again. I worked tirelessly to write a speech that I hoped would live in your heads for days to come. A speech so good that when asked to describe it, the first words that come to your mind are spectacular and definitely not ordinary. Considering I'm talking about the power of the ordinary, I find that quite hypocritical of myself. I know that it's a norm today to look for ways to be different, to be unique, and if it's safe to say, to write extraordinary speeches. But I couldn't help wondering why that's common between all of us. What exactly is so wrong with the ordinary? The truth is, in a world so often fascinated by the extraordinary, we often tend to overlook the power that lies within the ordinary. As children, we're often taught to fear the ordinary, conditioning our young minds to believe that being identical to someone else is something to dread. We grow up yearning to be doctors, actors, writers, and singers, dreaming of having our names known and our pictures up in lights. We long to stand out, to be different, to be unique. And the thought of being deemed ordinary shakes us to our very core. There is nothing inherently wrong with desiring uniqueness or wanting to be different. It's the very drive that fuels our ambition and propels us to accomplish things that others have not. It pushes us to be innovative, creative, and daring. Striving to be different isn't a problem. But why does the notion of being deemed ordinary evoke such fear within us? Why have so many of us been programmed to believe that being ordinary is our worst nightmare? One of the most prevalent fears of the 21st century is the fear of being deemed ordinary or normal. For many of us, this fear is instilled in us from birth when we are taught that being average is simply not good enough. We're led to believe that we must excel, that we must prove our worth. In doing so, we set impossible standards for ourselves and fall into the belief that who we truly are is insufficient. Let me take you back to my childhood. And for those of you that still consider me a child, looking at you, Ma, I mean a couple years ago. The very first thing I remember being told on my very first day of school was to stand out and to do well. That girl right there walked into class every day and told herself that she needed to be different, to be smarter than the rest. She wanted her name to be remembered, no matter how hard it was to pronounce. That might be one of the biggest mistakes of my entire life. You see, I was so focused on being extraordinary in the eyes of everybody else that I lost sight of what it was to be ordinary, to be me. Because let's face it, in the end, I'm ordinary, and so are you. It all depends on how you define it. If hating waking up at ungodly hours to study and to train is ordinary, then I'm ordinary. If having a deep love for studying for hours on end is extraordinary, then God am I ordinary. That's just me. I realize now that I don't have to force myself to be different or to be unique. I just have to be me. And that's extraordinary enough.
Thank you, Varunaga. Your seemingly ordinary speech did turn out to be extraordinary.